Good morning, folks. We want to welcome you to the maiden edition. For those in Liberia, we want to say good afternoon in West Africa. We want to welcome you to the maiden edition of MLC Talk Launch. This is a midweek segment, and today is our maiden edition. We want to welcome in studio our ambassador there in Freetown, Sierra Leone. He's joining us, and also today we have our colleague, Batam Abel Leawellie. He is our guest today. He is joining us from Monrovia, and he is the board chairperson of the Lutheran Training Institute. Um, Mr. Lewis, we want to say welcome. Mr. Board Chair, want to say welcome to the mid edition of MLC Talk.
Thank you so much, Willie. Thank you, Jerry. It's a pleasure to be here this afternoon.
All right, I'm going to get it started. This is something we've all dreamed about, and today happens to be the mid edition. And to our folks, we want to say welcome. Um, we are all getting adjusted to this first the first of several segments of the midweek program MLC Talk launch. So, Mr. Chairman, how has it been since your appointment? Can you please give us some updates on what is unfolding at LTI? I know on Sunday you spoke with us briefly, but we decided to roll everything to the launch program.
Yeah, thank you so much, Willie. LTI is a very integral part of the Lutheran Church in Liberia. For matter of fact, it is uh, the educational cradle of our church. And we all know how these institutions have really struggled from the very onset up to the current time. They have really struggled up to the current time and continue to struggle. Since the Civil War, the war took a heavy toll on the premises and the facilities of the Lutheran Training Institute that used to be one of the best institutions when it comes to the world of academia in this country. It produced some of the great men and women who currently serve in both the public and the private sector. The infrastructures were completely destroyed. The church has struggled for a very long time to kind of restore uh, the Lutheran Tree Institute to its past glory. Former leaders have done their fallbacks, beginning with Bishop Small Harris and then Bishop Jenkins and now Bishop Spamo. Bishop Spamo have taken LTIs as one of his pillars that he wants to rebuild this institution. That been demonstrated by him on several occasions. You saw last year, immediately after his inauguration, he led an array of Lutherans from across the country to brunch everywhere and to give a facelift to the institution. Besides that, he's there every now and then making sure that a light shine on this institution. But one of the things he previously planned was to kind of at least have a local school board, a local board for these institutions that will work with the administration and that of the Lutheran school system to see how life can be restored again to LTI. Support is now forthcoming and no longer the panels who supported LTI in its post-war reconstruction. They are not giving that kind of support right now. Government subsidy is not forthcoming and no longer. So it got the place to look very frigid and butchered out. Uh, but I was appointed as a local chairperson of the board to work with the team to see how we could put our eggs together to bring restoration back to Nigeria. So as I speak to you, I've gone just a month. in this portfolio, right, as a chairman of the board. And one of the things I quickly proposed to the team was that we cannot do much here until we know exactly where we are. We need to do a kind of both internal and external assessment to see our ability, to see the resources we have. In that way, we can then draw a sense of direction as to where we want to go. So it was predicated upon this recommendation from all of us, including the bishop, that there was a need for a strategic planning. So, in our 1 month of service, with the team and the stakeholders to develop a strategic document. Currently, we went up to LTI and we developed that document. It's a 5-year strategic roadmap that will be beginning this July 2023 to July 2027. I'm going to be very grateful to all of the stakeholders that turned up. We had representative of the LTI alumni, Mr. Marwa, James Marwa, who also graduated from the LTI somewhere around 1982. He was fully present. And along with other folks from the Alumni Association. For matter of fact, James Marwa is also a member of the board who is also serving with me. The folks from the Lutheran Development Service were there. Mr. Lavler, Mr. Jacqueline. We had the folks from Trauma Healing, the Reverend Philip Nushan was present. We had representatives from the various districts, like Upper and Lower Lofa districts of the SCOs. They were also in that meeting. The staff, the current staff that making the sacrifices at LTI, they were all present. And the bishop himself was there. The former director of the Lutheran Training Institute, Thomas Pay, was also present at that meeting. And we had a very fruitful deliberation, 2 days, followed by other consultations. And we did this document. The document is up. It's currently being reviewed. Willie, there's a noise coming from your end. The document is currently being reviewed by the stakeholders, and we hope to have a validation of that document hopefully next week, and then we can immediately start the process of implementation. As part of that process, yes, let me just quickly lay out this. As part of that process, the document actually look at a couple of issues. A lot have been happening. We take the SWOT analysis of LTI, looking at the strength, weakness, opportunities, and threats. We recognize that some of the weaknesses of the institutions have been the lack of coordination among the stakeholders. There were too many inferences that were overlapping each other. So that result, it kind of really hindered the operations of the institution. So we identified that. We identified opportunities. We identified internal threats and other things. So that's one of the things we did. And as I speak to you, there's a massive cleaning up going on right now at GR. We want to give a facelift to the institution. We cannot run an institution in debt or in breach. So the first thing we want to do is to give that massive facelift so that the play will be visible to people who may have interest and want to do business. That process is going. Recruitment process is also going. Recruitment when it comes to administrators, when it comes to tutors, and all of those things. So if you ask me the question, how have it been like? We have been very, very busy, almost like taking a full time of our time, but we want to do this so we're able to set the stage, then we can allow the process to go. There's some noise from the background.
Thank you very much. Sorry about that. We had to make some adjustment. So we're going to bring in Ambassador from Freetown, Sierra Leone.
Yeah, thank you so much, Abel, for the expose. And I think you really lay out a lot already that have started. But I wanted to know, what did you meet before becoming the chairman of the board? What did you meet on the record as something that you could start with? Did you meet something that you want to share with us, or you starting from scratch?
Jerry, to be frank with you, there is nothing currently at LTI. LTI is in a bush. The LTI is completely in a bush. The place is bullshit. Though they got a
The reason,
school.
as a continuation, before you complete, the reason why I asked such question is simply because I understood that a lot of publicity went around the whole face live of LTI. The bishop, you can remember, went there, carried a whole team, and they went to do some cleaning up. And then afterwards, we hosted, in one of our regular show, we hosted Dr. Dwako and a few other alumni who also came up, and they said about a meeting and generating some money and raising some funds and everything. I mean, so what's going on so far? And now you're saying that you didn't meet anything there. So can you share light on all those activities? What has happened so far?
Yeah, that's what I was just trying to lay out. As a process of commitment, demonstrating that commitment to the rebuilding process of LTI, the bishop demonstrated that last year. As I said earlier, he led an array of Lutherans on that campus, and they did a lot of cleaning up. But cleaning out, it shouldn't be an event. It should be an ongoing process, you know. But that was a one-time event. But I think the reasons why the bishops did that was to tell Lutherans across the group that a heart is in here, that he wants to see something happening here. So he practically led that process, you know, and that process gave the first lift when he took over. But eventually the place got bushy. You know, that place is a very big piece of land. The alumni have been having a series of meetings. I personally met with Dr. Dwako. I mean, they are concerned. They have been having series of meetings to see how they can galvanize the support. But this thing could not happen in the absence of having kind of a coordinated administration set at LTI. And that's the reasons why the bishop in his wisdom kind of proposed a local board, and bringing us on this local board, maybe they have seen something in us. They have seen some level of ability in us. We cannot say no to the request. We are under moral obligation to give back to our church. I mean, that is where we grew up. That is where we came from. That is where we went to school. This is where we started our professional journey. We've reaped so much from this institution, either directly or indirectly. So we have a moral obligation to give back. And the bishop request was met by us. We cannot say no to that. But I think it's not about time to get all of those things that you're talking about done. From where we are right now, with the setup we are starting with the document that we produce, with the administrative staff that we're trying to put into place. Now the alumni will be in a better position to say, look, we can get this amount because we now have a well-coordinated group that will be able to implement whatever projects we have. So there's a whole lot of plan going on. As I discussed with you, the bishop has started spreading out his net to partners, to other well wishers who wants to have. We are currently talking about securing a tractor that will be able to landscape LTI and to get the place well presentable again. That process is already ongoing. But we can also say we'll wait until the tractor comes. That requires time, it requires money. So what we are doing right now is that we are carrying out a massive faith lifting manually. The men are working as I speak to you because we are in preparations of opening the first phase of that strategic document, the most immediate one. The strategic document identified five thematic areas. One got to do with running a non-boarding school that are going to attract students from all across the different communities. It's also in Salary and if possible beyond. We run that program for 1 year. And then eventually in the second year, beginning next year, we'll be moving to a full-fledged boarding school where we're going to open the school to the general public across the length and breadth of the country, where people from Maryland, from Firestone, from wherever in this country can again begin sending their children and entrusting us to provide them with the kind of quality education that the Lutheran Training Institute provided before. Now, that's the second phase of the strategic document. The third phase of the document talk about infrastructure development. You know, the structures are there. In fact, that is one of the opportunities that LTI has. LTI is not an institution that's going to start from scratch, because it will start building. It is not building, the structures are already there. Maybe all we need to do is to kind of modify some of those buildings, if possible, renovate some of those ones that are still renovated, and then get it right back. So we can say we're starting from scratch. We already have something that we can depend on. So infrastructure development is one of the priorities area. How can we revamp those different buildings, those different facilities, and get it back? I don't like to always speak of the word pre-war status, and get it back to contemporary status, right? And then the four pillars of the strategic document got to do with what? It got to do with social enterprise development. You know that LTI has a farm. You know, previous staff and leaders have also done well. They were able to open a palm farm. It may not be large as much as anyone expect, but at least they got something. They got a rubber farm. We are not contemplating of entering into agreement with Fastone, for example, to see how we can revamp the rubber farm. We are contemplating as well of seeing where we may find some seed funding to kind of boost the palm farm. All of those places, revenue will be generated from there for the support of the school. That's about sustainability. And then the institution also got buildings. There's so many buildings around our area. So when we did a preliminary market assessment, we said this entire region, there is no accommodation at all in any of these places, right? Now the quota has almost entered LTI, let's say Salary. So that's an opportunity. So when you Jerry ready to go to Salary, you don't have to worry about your sport car. You can roll it there, right? So there's also a place of attraction. A lot of people will want to go up country to spend weekend to do other things. You know, they should have a place to stay. So we can put some of those horses into rent and be able to generate money from there. And lastly, the last pillar, which is the fifth pillar, it got to do with the proposed Lutheran universities. Now, LTI is well positioned to host the Lutheran College of Agriculture and Engineering. So we hope that in the next 5 years, that process will also be possible, because we are working all along towards all of those processes. So that is where we are, Jerry. And that is how things been happening. The stakeholders are ready, they are prepared, they are waiting for us to tell them that that is where the church has come. And Bishop Palmer is concerned about this. I guess he's going to inform them about the initial development that is already sparking at the institution.
All right, that seems to be very, very good. And listening to you, I think you already have hit the ground running. But let us look at the issue of the pillars. Let us look at least one of the pillars. For example, the non-boarding school. Some of our viewers have always been saying that the LTI has been an elite school. Holding everything constant, whether that is true or not, you now has assumed the office of the chairman of the board. What are you looking at in terms of expansion and getting students and everything? Just put everything in one nutshell and let us know in terms of tuition, in terms of recruitment of students. What's the strategy?
The first thing here is that currently you don't have administrators. You got an interim body that the bishop set up when he took over as bishop. Interim, let's say caretaker, we call them. And the guys they have been doing well. For the fact that they maintain those buildings have not been burglarized, for the fact that they even have a school running there. I mean, I must commend the interim body that the bishop set up. I mean, the work at the institution is overwhelmed. You don't have many students, and you don't have the kind of money to give to people to brush that place every month. So anybody who passes around here and say, "Oh, the place is bullshit," but then if you don't understand the challenges that those people face, you will speak the way you speak. So one of the best strategies we put into place is to give a face the beginning now as I speak to you. There's a massive work going on there. Number two is to recruit staff, administrators. And this coming week, we have been having an announcement on the radio, on the various social media platforms to recruit principals, vice principal, and registrar. That's the first batch of people that we are recruiting who are going to handle the administrative affairs of LTI. They're going to run the day-to-day affairs. As chairman of the board and board members, we are not going to interfere much. We are only happy at this initial stage to set the pace, right? That's what we're doing. So as soon as we get the administrators, those administrators are going to join us in the planning. And then we'll look at the community, look at the economic situation. What is the economic mark of people living in Salaye, in Zozo? So on the basis of that, we're going to come up with a very reasonable amount in terms of charging students for fees, right? We'll charge a very reasonable amount. And then we will make a lot of awareness. We're going to spread awareness in the various towns and villages, encouraging our children, our youth to take advantage of quality education at LTI. One of the strategies is that we are cutting off the high school, right? 10, 11, and 12. And then we're only going to maintain junior high 7, 8, and 9. The reason for this is no matter what you do right now, you're not going to get many high school students. That's number one. Number two, we also want to put forth a quality, academic quality, that we take our students from junior high and then we take them through high school. So that even if they went out for a public test, for example, there should be an average of 99% passes on the public test that wide, right? But that would depends on the quality of teachers you have. And when you talk about quality, quality has its own demand. It means you should be in the position to pay those qualified teachers that you're going to recruit and to employ them. So when we get an administrator, we'll be doing recruitment of the second batch of staff that will join the administrator to run the first phase, which is the non-boarding institution for 2023-2024. So those are just some of the strategies, Jerry, in attracting.
Let us come back. Let us come back to this question of quality. And you know that the quality has a symbiotic relationship to finances. Especially now you're talking about reasonable price. I don't know how reasonable would be the reasonableness you are talking about as it relates to the recruitment of students and the amount they're going to pay. But if you want to maintain quality teachers, you need to take into consideration paying them something good that will take care of their needs and the needs of their own family. So with the exception of the fees, what other strategy or modalities are you putting in place in order for you to generate, the resources just for the issue of keeping the quality in place, as well as ensuring that the school does not run on deficit, so to speak?
Yeah, that's why we said you cannot just run on institutions where you don't have the financial backing to do that, right? So it's better to maintain a small, quality, effective, and efficient staff. So you have 3 classes. It's possible that you may have different sessions of those classes, maybe session A, B, and C, depending on how many students come. But one thing we've noticed is that it's not possible at this movement that a teacher's salary will squarely come from the tuition that students going to pay. You may not get it in that part of the country right now, until maybe when you have scaled up to a full-fledged boarding institutions where parents who bring their children will be in a position to pay for their tuition. So what we are doing right now is that we are galvanizing. Right after we get administrators, we come up with a series of programs. We have outlined different kinds of fundraising program. Take for instance, having a donor conference for LTI. Having a donor conference, we invite all of the stakeholders, including the alumni, the former missionaries, right? Former students, those who have interest in the institution across the country and the world. And they can they can volunteer. You can say, okay, you have 2, 3 students. I will take your 2, 3 student tuition, for example. I will do this. I will do that. I will provide so number of solar light to what? To lighting the campus. So there are different ways we're going to do it to raise seed funding that will be secure, that we can depend on to pay our teachers. And whatever little we're going to raise locally cannot be augmented to have the school moving forward. So those are some of the strategies.
So, folks, if you are listening to us and to our viewers, we are on the lunchtime, our midweek segment of the Malutrin Connection or the MLC talk. And today we are making our debut by playing host to our dear brother, Brother Batan Abel Leawellie. Batan Abel Leawellie is the chairman of the local board or the chairman of the board of LTI, and he's here to delve into everything about LTI, giving us information relative to their plans in revigorating and revitalizing the entire LTI so that we can be able to have a learning institution that will provide equal opportunities and education to our kids in the Leeward part of Liberia. Brother Leawellie, we want to say that we are very happy and, as a young, vibrant youth yourself, who have been through the ranks and fire of the Lutheran Church in Liberia. How do you see this preferment by the bishop or the appointment by the bishop? Did it come the wrong time? Did it come the right time? And how prepared are you for it?
Well, Jerry, I think everything happened the right time. Though it is a decision that anybody could want to downplay because of looking at the numerous challenges that you have in that place, Jerry. It scares anyone who wants to take a supervisory role there, right? But as I say in my opening statement, we are passionate. We are always willing to give back to our church, always willing to give back to our church. And when you ask me for my preparedness, I would tell you that as long as we make the coordinations, the collaborations, and the teamwork come up together, I can give you 100% assurance that LTI can be revamped in less than 3 years. In fact, I can say it can be revamped in a year time, as we have started. With the momentum and the energy that is currently on the block and rolling, if this energy just continue, even over the period of 8 months or 12 months, you get back to the Lutheran Training Institute, you are going to see a sense of redemption. You are going to see a sense of restorations all over the place. So we're going to do all we can. We will use our network. We use our contact. We use our talents and skill to do massive fundraising. We do grant writing that we are well situated in doing. We are well situated in doing that. I'm a very good grant writer. I'm a very good fundraiser. My institution is a living testimony to that. I raise money every day, day in and day out, to run my personal organizations. I know the know-how. I know how to do it. And once we meet with all of those satisfactions, all of those demands, the coordinations, the collaborations, we are well situated to bring by the Lutheran Training Institute to its past glory.
Okay, so one more thing on this issue of coordination and collaboration. How coordinated are you or collaborative? What is the collaborative effort so far with the school board? That is with I think Reverend Doe. And can you also just inform us or confirm how many member board are you chairing?
This board is supposed to be up to 7. if possible, 11. The board is still in a formative stage. The bishops is still formulating the board. There are 3 alumni that are going to join us, and there are people from the local communities that are already on the board. We're able to bring the commissioners of the district. We brought the parliament chief, the city mayors. They were all part of the strategic development, and they all serve on the local board. So the school system have been very cooperative in this process. They have given us the mandate to go ahead and do the right thing and make sure that this institution is restored. The bishop is in support of this. As long as he sees the progress being made, we are going to coordinate with all of them, including all stakeholders, to restore LTI.
Wow, that is so very good. And I want to say thank you so much for the information you have provided. And I think the information has started us to think that we got a vibrant board and who will be recruiting a vibrant administration, and surely we are going to see our LTR back on its feet. So let's go to the second pillar. I think the second pillar, you were talking about the issue of some entrepreneurship program. Is that the second pillar?
No, the second pillar is actually returning the school back to a full-fledged boarding school, both
Okay.
boarding, academic, and TVET program.
Okay, the TVET program, returning the school to the boarding school. So now you are at the phase of the pre-first pillar phase, I can put it that way, where you still giving the school a facelift, cutting grass, and trying to see how you can recruit, or administrators, and then maybe you start to look at going out to recruit students and to start the school and going to be a non-boarding school. So at what point in time you are going to enter into the second phase or the second pillar, so to speak, start with board students and then looking at other programs like the TVET program. At what time, what's your strategy and what's your plan in reaching the second pillar?
Well, this particular pillar is actually a transitional pillar towards the second pillar, which is the boarding program for both academic and TVET. So students are going to enroll this year. They will be in they will be in transition. It's possible that some of the various students can transition to the boarding school depending on their financial capacity. But the second phase of the program will actually start in July next year, where we will open up the school. That means we have fully prepared the dormitory. We have gotten all of the necessary teachers, all of the different facilities like electricity, potable water we have it on the campus. We have renovated some of those buildings, and the dormitory is all set to accommodate those students. And it will be in 2 phases. Right now, our panel, the Lutheran Development Service, is running on a program. Maybe at some point they will be taking the cat out of the bag as it comes to the running of the TVET. And then the academic, the 2 projects will go simultaneously. They will be run simultaneously. Students will come who don't want to do academic, for example. They can go strictly to the TVET program. And then those who want to do academic go to academic program. And they have the opportunity, they have the options. They can either choose to do both academic and TVET. For matter of fact, students that will go to the academic program will be required to do a selection. They will have to take an optional course in the TVET program. So these 2 programs will run all together. They will run hand in hand so that they accommodate each other. Jerry, is that you are all of this process. You have gone off the show. Well, folks, this is the main week show of my Lutheran connections, and today we talk to actually start the process rolling so that people can come up here for their lunch. you can take a long break and then just watch some of the things that are happening within the perimeter of our church. The reasons we are talking this is because we have been given a responsibility to perform a particular task, and that's exactly what we're doing right now. Uh, the Board of Education, with the endorsement of the Bishop of the Lutheran Church in Liberia, have entrusted us to see how we can work with the different stakeholders, the community people, the students, to bring back the Lutheran Training Institute. So we were just trying to give light to some of the work that currently going on. As I said, there is a massive work going on right now at the Lutheran Training Institute. Brethren is going in the four corners of the campus. We are trying to set up the Lutheran guest house. We are trying to begin planting solar light poles across, and hopefully by next month, we start our registration process. We are encouraging students from the different communities to take advantage to go to the Lutheran Tree Institute to quality education. That's exactly what we are doing. So this week, we'll be recruiting the principal, vice principal, and all of the registrar. We have the basic requirements set up. The position of principal, we are talking about a bachelor degree in education, or maybe with masters being a plus. We're talking about a vice principal and that of a registrar should hold a bachelor degree in business administration and accounting, whatsoever it is. So we are setting up all of these processes in preparation for the reopening of school. So basically, these are some of the way we're doing. These are some of the way we're doing on the campus. And in addition to that, we have a special program that will be launching in July, to be specific, on July 10. The Lutheran Training Institute, in collaboration with the Trauma Healing and Reconciliation Program, have already secured some money in the tune of 10,000 plus. Though we said that money is really small to run a 3 month program for 40 students on campus. But we will try as much as we can to manage with the little we have, so that we bring back the spirit, that spirit, that will serve as a motivation for other programs that will be coming up. So a lot is currently happening in the corridor, and we hope to
Can you
move
hear
forward.
me, Abel?
Welcome, Jerry.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Oh, good. That's good. Oh, sorry, I had a breaking transmission, but it was good. I think I listened to most part of what you were saying, and I think you seem to be on a right trajectory. You seem to get a lot of vision, but don't you think you are too ambitious?
Jerry, without ambition, you cannot do this job. Trust me. You need someone who is overly zealous like me to get this work going. And in our recruitment process, we are going to look for these attributes in almost all of our candidates. We need ambitious candidates who will go outside of the box, who will think outside of the box, who will only take initiative without waiting for money from anywhere to get things done. And that's the kind of person I am. I'm overly ambitious. And I told people, let no one stand in the way of this thing, because we want to get it done. And that's about me, and that's about my spirit. And that's a kind of a team we are trying to build, an ambitious team that will make things to happen without making any mistake.
This is the MLC Talk midweek program, and we are playing host to our brother Barton Abel Leawellie. And brother Leawellie is making his debut, and we are discussing all things Lutheran, but specifically looking at the revitalization of LTI. And Brother Leawellie has said so much in so short period of time, and you can see that he's zealous in reaching and achieving his objective. So, Brother Leawellie, we want to say thank you so much for the kind of spirit you bringing on board. And I want to find out from you, what are you planning currently as it relates to the issue of getting some of these things done without money. Where are you sourcing your where are you sourcing some of your resources from? And can you tell us how are you managing to achieve thus far?
You know, as chairman of the board of LTI, that is not the normal traditional board that anyone can think of. When I talk about a normal traditional board, it's a board that go to meeting, look at document, and at the end of the day, they have the board fix, and everyone is given transportation to transport themselves. This board is an extraordinary board that have nothing, but because of the willingness, because of the passion, uh, this board is moving all about trying to get things done. So currently we are operating without budget, and that's what I said. It's about innovations. For too long, we can no longer wait. And the bishop, his wisdom, is now saying he's going to sit and fold his hand. He has always said we cannot fold our hands. We have to get things going. And there's a actions driven kind of a philosophy that we all for ourselves. Currently, we are using motivation. We are using little personal resources wherever we can find it to get the process started, because we know that at some point, trust me, money will come. At some point, money will come. But before the money comes, people have to make ultimate sacrifices. And that's exactly what we are doing right now.
Wow, that is very important. But another thing, Brother Leawellie, with all of this motivation, uh, how are you how are you uh, putting up with your series of meetings? And the reason why I'm asking this because you just mentioned that usually people having bold meetings. Sometimes they expect to have a logo and all of those things, and you people don't have a budget now. So at least the initial meetings that you've been having, how are you putting up with them? Is it something that you use your own resources to get board members a meeting site and then to get them back to the various local? And how are you putting all of them?
Well, it's the same process. Like, take for instance, when we did a strategic plan, the school system uh, uh, contributed towards that meeting, and we from the end of the board also have to contribute towards that meeting to make it really fruitful. That was done really on a scamming level. School system doesn't have monies as well, but they want to see the Lutherans Training Institute back on East Coast. We are chairpersons of the board. We have special interest in LTI. That's the reasons why we are doing the extra thing to make sure that there is restoration. So all that we're doing right now, Mr. James Murray, who is also part of the board, he's like sacrifices whatever he can sacrifice to make things happen. As I speak to you, we're now on our way to Salaye. Right after our conversation here, purposely I'm going to Salaye this time around, not on the Camp for Peace tour, but I'm going there to help with the recruitment of administrators at LTI. While I need to use fuel, while I need money to do that, everything is coming from our own end. And that is the passion. When you have passion for something, passion overwhelms money, Jerry. We use passion to get money. In all of my journey, I have always used passion, and then money follow. When I established my own institution, Camp for Peace Liberia, there was nothing like money. Everything we did it out of our own sweat, and we walk the walk to places. But today, at least, we can say, yeah, God, thank you, because people have found our cause to be genuine, and that's the reasons why they contribute to the cause. The missionaries, the supporters, the alumni, everybody all over the place, the FTI stakeholders, when they see that there is a light on that mission, trust me, they will bring money. Even the government of Liberia will be compelled to reinstate a subsidy program for LTI, but the beginning have to be sacrificial. Some people must make the sacrifices to make things to happen. And that's the gap that we want to fill up right now. We want to fill that gap to be part of that sacrificial process as people who the bishop have entrusted to take this institution from one level to the next. And we go above everything that we do. We go above everything that we do, knowing our hearts and the love that we have for this church. I always told Bishop Pamo that you love this church. And because you love this church, that's the reasons why God is going to work up miracles to make sure that all of your desires and your plan, your manifestos about the Lutheran Church in Liberia will surely come to pass. It will be materialized. So we are in the same boat, Jerry. And I will encourage all of my colleagues, those are listening to us, be it from the alumni, be it from the Aliyah, be it wherever they are, it's about time that the Lutheran Training Institute be reawakened. And I think God is ready now to do his job.
I'm happy that you are making some great strive, so to speak. But I would want to know from you, now that you setting everything in motion, what has been some of your challenges so far?
Challenges are everywhere. The entire institutions is engulfed with multiple challenges. The issue of coordination has been a problem, serious one. And I strongly believe in the next 2 to 3 weeks to come, that challenge will be resolved somehow. There have to be a coordinated process. You cannot have everybody doing their own thing. Who reports to who? Who take commands from who? So we are saying the new LTI that we are about to restore, it will be an LTI that will be coordinated through a delegated authority like the administrators that we want to build, and then through the local board, and then back to the bishop's office or the office of the school system. So we are gradually embracing that challenge. The challenge of money is a serious one. You see, the campus is unbelievable. You think that it will never be restored, but light is gradually returning. As you brush the bush, the hustles get visible. And the more the hustles get visible, people will wonder and say, these people are ready now. They are ready to get back. And surely we are ready to get back. And I strongly believe the bishop is passionate about this, and he's not going to allow this energy to be thwarted in any way forward. So there are just so much challenges, Jerry, but as we work together as a team, it's possible that we can brace all of those challenges.
All right, folks. So we're going to take a very short musical break, and we call it maybe a health break. So at least we can take some glass of water and everything, and give our guest chance to because he be in a comfortable seat to take 1 or 2 glasses of water, and then he will come back in the less 2 to 3 minutes. So we take a short music.
Close your eyes. Let's go into the heavenlies. Come on. Abundantly above all you could ask or think, according to the power that works. Yeah. Listen, church, God is able to do just what He said He would do, and He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. This is your word. Don't give up on God. but he won't give up on you. Listen, he's able. I feel God in the room. He's able. I need a crazy worshiper to lift your voice, lift your hands. God is able to do just what he said. He's gonna fulfill every promise to you. So don't give up on God. Cause he won't give up on you. Tell your neighbor he's able. He's able. You got it now, church. Lift your hands and say, God is able. That's what it says. Ru-sha-ta-ta-ta. And it's gonna fulfill every promise. Don't give up on God. I feel God's presence. I feel God's anointing. Aye, he's able. Somebody needs to know that. Right where you are, I send God's anointing there. Yeah. One more time. Lift it. Come on. Good God Almighty. Shake somebody's hand and tell somebody, he's able. Through the rough times, in this recession, he's still able. Though economy's bad, God is still. He's able. He's still God. Sits on the throne. He's able. He's still God. He sits on the throne. He's still in control. Can I get a witness? He's got an angel ready to come to see about you. He's Don't give up on God. Don't you give up on God. I see somebody there. You feel like giving up. You feel like nobody understands. But the devil is a lie. God is right there. And he's been there all the time. Lift your hands. I break the spirit of depression off of you in Jesus' name. Because he won't give up on you. Let me tell you why. He's able.
Thank you. Welcome back to the MLC Talk. And today we are playing host to our dear brother, Batan Abel Leawellie. And this is the midweek section of the MLC Talk. And brother Abel Leawellie is making his debut on this section, and we want to say thanks to all our followers and our viewers. We want to quickly recognize our viewers. We want to recognize Rich Kid Kennedy. Rich Kid Kennedy is viewing from Cinco. We want to say thank you, Rich Kid. You are always following your own Lutheran show. We want to say thank you so much. We also want to say thank you to our brother Steven Zekova Jr. He said he's viewing. We want to say thank you so much, Brother Cover. We also want to say thank you so much, Brother Roger Abinkamu, who is also our usual follower. He's also viewing. We want to say thank you so much. And then Brother Cover is saying there's an exceptional effort. Academic and vocational education is key to development and self-empowerment. Oh, it is very true, our brother Steven Zekova. And that is why we got Mr. Barton Abel Leawellie, who is here to tell us everything and his plan that he has as the chair of the board in making our LTI a vibrant a place to be again. So, Brother Leawellie, I show that you have settled down now. You've taken your coffee, you've taken your tea, and you were just ready to go through the last session because I know you got to travel up to LTI. Abel, we just want you to just give us a little information on the Pillar 2. I'm interested in the TVEC section. At the first stage, what are those technical vocational education you are intending to bring forth? You want to start with the wide range of electricity or mechanic or something else, or you want to go? You also be going in phases. Can you give us a little rundown on what's your plan on that?
Okay, Jerry, are you getting me?
Yes, I'm getting you. Yes.
Okay. We said to you that the second pillars of the 2023-2027 strategies document of the Lutheran Training Institute talks about boarding academic and TVET program. And on this thematic area, we say that LTI will offer two distinct programs, the academic and the TVET. The academic will focus on providing a comprehensive, rigorous academic curriculum that meets national standards and prepares students for higher education. Students in the academic program will be required to undertake a specialized course in the TVET program, offering them practical skills and vocational training in various disciplines. And then the TVET program, on the other hand, will provide students with hands-on training, industry relevant skills, and practical experiences in fields such as agriculture, engineering, computer technology, business courses, and other vocational disciplines. Because we believe that by offering a diploma or the certificate and the training in the TVET program, LTI hopes to equip these students with practical knowledge and skills that enhance their employability and provide them with opportunities for further study or entrepreneurship. So a couple of courses will just unfold on this particular program. Maybe in the first year, we may not be able to have everything at once, but obviously we're going to have agriculture. Agriculture will be a major pillar of that program. And then we're going to have engineering. When you talk about engineering, it covers a wide range of areas. You're talking about building construction, for example, in all segments. That include carpentry, masonry, plumbing, electricity, and all of those ones that you talk about. And then computer technology will also be another area. Other areas will be added up as the program grows and become more bigger and bigger.
Oh, that's very wonderful. That's very wonderful. So we hope to see a lot of things and more as we go through this whole revamping of LTI. So let me leave you now. You got to go, and we want to say, a very big thank you for taking up some of your time to have lunch with us at the MLC talk. And as I said, this is our midweek program, and you are making your debut, and we hope to try to improve on our midweek program. We hope to try to improve on our segment, and we are very, very certain that as time goes by, we are going to have all of the elements, so to speak. And definitely, we will be able to invite other people who will also come to join us to have lunch on our midweek program. But before you leave, Brother Leawellie, we want you to kindly give us your closing statement.
Thank you so much, Jerry. As I said, we're coming up with a lot of fundraising program. We are signaling up now to our Lutheran partners, the ALIA, the Lutheran Alumni Association. Hopefully, in the coming weeks, we'll be coming up with full planning when we have the administrators into place to come up with tuition, to forecast the tuitions, how much we think students are able to pay at this time. But one of the things we want to do is to kind of re-strengthen our scholarship program at LTI. Not many students who want to go to LTI has the money, but if other people like the alumni and other stakeholders can say, look, I will sponsor 2 students, I will come by here soon on this very platform after we have set up with all of these plans and give the tuition to the general public to see who is able to sponsor 1 student, 2 students, 3 students, based on their ability and interest into those students. As we move forward, Jerry, we know that this work cannot be done all by ourselves. And that's the reasons why we want to make reference to few Bible voices. If you look at the book of Philippians 4, verse 13, it says, I can do all things through him who strengthens me. We are not doing this by ourselves. We know that God is there watching, and he knows the hearts of those that are involved in this process. And he definitely going to work up all of the miracles. In 2 Corinthians 12:9, he said, my grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast in all the more gladly of weaknesses, so that the power of Christ may be rest upon you. We are holding fast, brother. We are holding fast, and it's no doubt that we definitely going to succeed. In Mark 10:27, Jesus said unto them, he said, with men, all things are impossible, but with God, all things are possible. We believe that God is in this thing that we're doing. And let no man think that we are doing it all by ourselves. We know that God is there, and he's going to look at us. He's going to work through us. He's going to make sure that a mission, a plan about LTI comes to fruition. So I just want to say thank you to our listening public, and we will always come here in consultation with the bishop to give update about the Lutheran Training Institute and see how far we are going with it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Leawellie, and thank you for the time, man. To take off some of your time, we know you got busy schedule. You're trying to now prepare yourself to go to LTI. But I want to say thank you for giving us your time to share lunch with us. Folks, this is the MLC Talk, and this is how we want to draw down our curtain for our midweek segment. And this is just the meeting, a midweek segment, and we hope that will improve. We want to also say sorry for the technical glitches. We live in a fragile society, and sometimes these things happen. But again, we will try to do better. We'll try to do our best. For now, we want to say bye and thank you for listening.